Hello, this is me looking for... Dude, that video is the weirdest video. The hello video.
Oh yeah, where he's like,
where she's like sculpting his head and she's blind and he walks in and it was like, I think it was supposed to be because that was like the Ghost moment and like I don't know when fucking Ghost came out. That was a pretty good movie, Ghost.
I haven't seen it in forever. I was a kid, a baby, basically, when that shit came out.
You're only a few years younger than me. You're like 2 years younger than me. So if you were a baby, I was a baby too.
Yeah.
I was a little tyke. Little tyke. I think I was a little tyke when fucking Hello came out too. Hello. Keep fucking with the mic. Keep fucking with it. So I had the perfect intro, and I was going to wait all the way until the show was actually started to do it.
Yeah, like an hour ago.
Like, I was going to be like, welcome to the Stone Cold Podcast. I'm Stone Cold, and this is my special guest, Chris Jericho. And, like, I was going to do the rest of the podcast as Stone Cold and Chris Jericho, and then but not sounding like them.
You should have introduced me as, this is, Chris Jericho. You should have said he's from Toronto, and I should have been like, I'm from Winnipeg, you idiot.
Yes. Made the list.
You just made the list.
You just made the list. That would have been great. We could have done Kevin Steen, the Kevin Steen show. Like, I would have worn my cutoff.
Kevin Steen show, not Owen
like,
Steen.
Put tape on it, KO. Like or would it be KS?
Now we can't do it, though, because
no, we can't,
the cat's out of the bag.
I guess so. I guess we got to do the Buncha Podheads podcast.
Cat's out of the bottle, bro.
We can't do the Stone Cold podcast.
No, because it's not our podcast.
We still could do the Tommaso Ciampa podcast, though.
Yeah, no intro music.
No intro music. Just fuck you, Ciampa. Fuck you, Ciampa.
Fuck
Dude,
you, Ciampa.
I finally got network back, bro.
Did you?
Yeah, they offered me 2 months for 99 cents.
Really?
Yeah, so I was like, fuck yes. They sent it to my email. It was in my promotions, and I'm like, I never look at this shit.
I'm paying $10 a month, and you're getting it for 99
yeah,
fucking cents.
99
what the hell?
I got it till October. So I got it, and I'm watching last week's because this week hadn't come out yet. Well, it did come out, but I didn't watch it yet. And or maybe it did, but like my days are all messed up. So I watched last week's, and I watched the EC3.
I actually just got caught up. I don't think I watched Wednesdays though. I might have
watched Wednesdays, which was I think it was the week of Aleister Black getting attacked.
No, I don't think I...
And they, like, analyzed it and stuff.
Whatever the most recent one is, I might not have saw it. I might have. But I know... Because I don't remember what day I caught up.
Did you...
But I got caught up.
What was the ending fight? Was it the triple threat match? With Tommaso, Aleister Black... And
Johnny Gargano?
It was a singles match between Gargano and...
It was the one right after Johnny Gargano fucked Aleister Black out of the title.
Okay, so you haven't seen the most recent one.
Yeah.
But how about that feud with Velveteen Dream and EC3? Like, those are two of the perfect personalities to be colliding with each other right now.
Yeah.
In the perfect setting.
For sure.
Because they have such a small audience. Like, they have a huge audience, but, like, it's a confined audience with as much creative freedom as they need. Even if they're writing the script for them. Like, even if they're just writing a story and they're just reading it off. They're reading it amazingly. Like, they're telling a great story. I feel like them two, how they... Even if they have, shitty wrestling matches, which they're probably not going to, just the story of them, like... It's like when Macho Man was fighting Hogan.
Yeah.
Like, promo level. Like, I feel like it's an awesome feud. Like, it's something we needed. Like, the Tommaso Ciampa Johnny Gargano feud is intense.
It was amazing, dude.
It's becoming
epic. Still going on.
It is. Aleister Black, I don't know if you've seen on Twitter, but Aleister Black won't be fighting in the triple threat match. Spoiler alert. He won't be fighting this Saturday.
Yeah?
Yeah, he got hurt for real.
Oh, really?
He, tore something or something like that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I actually forgot that was
like
even Saturday.
Show or something. Like, he fought somebody at a house show and got hurt, and then...
Man, at a fucking house show.
But now,
going hard at
Twitter,
a house show.
On Twitter, Tommaso Ciampa has been going in on Johnny Gargano, and Tommaso Ciampa doesn't follow anybody. He doesn't at people the right way. Like, he doesn't do the at sign and, like, at them because he doesn't want them to get any publicity. So he'll be like, at Johnny Gargano. AT.
Oh, AT.
Like,
gotcha.
at you. Like, come at me, bro.
Like, it's a fucking secret.
And he's been doing day by day. And he's been putting up pictures. Like, remember this day? Remember when you were just young pup and blah, blah, blah.
Gotcha.
And just talking straight shit to him, dude. Just playing, like, the perfect heel role. And, like, Tommaso Ciampa, when he... Like, if he goes to the main roster and they do to him what they did to Bobby Roode, like... I'm gonna feel sad.
Damn,
but if they take him to the main roster and make him what he is now, but on another level, he could be something like the Undisputed Era, like the new NWO. Like the Undisputed Era, like is the new Four Horsemen. Like they are the new WWE. They've taken over NXT. Like once they get up to the main roster, they won't be as clutch as they are now. Just like Sanity, you don't fucking see them. You don't see Revival. They're doing shit with their tag teams though.
Yeah.
But if you watch the house shows, like if you watch their Instagram and Twitter, the tag teams are all over the place. Like Broken Matt and Bray Wyatt, they fought like 30 times. They defended those titles like 6 or 7 times and won.
Did you hear about Matt Hardy? I posted that thing the other day.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know how accurate what I said about it was. That's what I heard.
Well, I seen that on his Instagram. It is his spine fusing with his
pelvis. That's fucked up, dude. Because I love that.
Footsies?
Yeah.
Sorry. Starting a different kind of podcast now.
But yeah, that's a bummer, dude. Because they were like I wanted them to do so much more with them. You know what I mean? Like I wanted them to be something huge.
I think they were. I think they were going to do more with them. I think there was going to be like an ending feud with Jeff and Bray, and that was going to be like Woken Jeff.
I'm just surprised they can't like do something about it for him, like surgically. You know what I mean? Like I'm surprised in 2018 that like they haven't figured out like bone fusion problems.
Your spine's so like delicate though. Like any kind of
all your nerves and shit in there. Yeah, he could be paralyzed.
Could you imagine them going in and like all his nerves are fusing with like his other nerves? Like I don't know how or like what kind of nerves are in your pelvis versus your spine.
Well,
or if it's just your bone like literally like just becoming the bone, just like because I'm assuming it's cartilage in between that fused up, kind of like when you get like a callus, like, and it just grows over everything. I'm assuming that's what it is. It's just the cartilage that would be in between his spine and his pelvis has just inflamed and it's just taking over.
Or it's just gone. And
it's just gone. And
the bones are kind of just resting on each other and slowly forming together.
Which would be
But like
insane.
with stem cells and shit now, people are getting everything fixed in like a week.
He could honestly, if he wasn't a wrestler, probably take steroids and heal it. But the problem with taking steroids and healing it is you see what it does to people. No matter if it's the doctor prescribed ones or not, you're still gonna be. He would be Matt Hardy like.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, have you seen Al fucking Snow?
No, I haven't seen Al Snow in a while.
Oh my god, bro!
I mean, we used to hang out all the time, but
you need to go check out Al Snow. Okay, maybe put a picture up or something eventually. Like, I'll send you one of him, like one that I seen on a fucking YouTube channel. But it's Al Snow standing there like this, and his shoulder jacked up.
I did see him actually. Now that I think about it, he was on one of those shoot interviews. Like I think it's called You Shoot. I watch on YouTube every now and then.
Yeah,
and
he did like the Carrot Top transformation. Like he got huge overnight.
Yeah, like speaking of, look, what about fucking Dean Ambrose?
Dean Ambrose got big, dude.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, that dude's fucking jacked now. Looks like a version of Triple H.
He does. Now that he shaved his head and like grew his mustache
I think he's
gonna
do a heel turn.
I think he should have left his hair long. Because I feel like, could you imagine long-haired Dean standing there cock diesel like he is with the fucking goatee that he had going on?
I hated the bowl cut though. You know?
Yeah, I didn't like the bowl cut.
I think he should have grew it like maybe like shoulder length.
Well, if he would have, when he kept it dry, it looked okay. When he had it wet, it looked dumb because
looked
he had it in the bowl cut form,
and it looked like he was balding.
Yeah, it looked like he was balding in the
not really balding, but like his hairline was receding a little bit. You could tell.
Now he looks like a cocky dad. Like he just looks like he looks like that guy that like you would see in a generic like jail movie like that. Like you're like, oh, that guy that plays in everything.
Yeah,
that's what he looks like. Now you're like, oh, it's Vin Diesel. He's Vin Diesel.
It's weird that you're comparing Dean Ambrose and Vin Diesel, but I see what you're saying.
And it's like he came back and I didn't really see what happened, but I did see the aftermath. And like he looks so angry. Like he just looks. Is he like creating another? Like is he gonna become the heel? Like because he looks like he's like before he looked angry when he was with the Shield. I think he's gonna go heel. And then he mellowed out and he became like Surfer Dean. And then now he looks like he's back to when he first was with the Shield, like real angry Dean.
Well, I shared a beeb and it said something like Dean Ambrose almost has that stab your best friend in the back douchebag thing going, or like complete. You know what I mean?
He does.
That sounded terrible the way I said it, but like if you look at my Facebook, you might be able to find it. But and it showed a picture of Tommaso Ciampa. You know what I mean? So like and they even had like
Maybe I didn't see that one.
Dean had the muscle shirt version of his, like where you cut off the sleeves and shit, and then Ciampa did too. You know what I mean? And Dean has a beard now. Ciampa's beard is obviously way fucking longer.
Oh yeah, Tommaso Ciampa's been growing his beard for a little bit. Like he's been growing it since I think he was there back when he was with Gargano.
But I feel like I definitely feel like Dean Ambrose is gonna turn heel. Maybe even join Triple H because he looks like fucking Triple H, a little bit.
Could you imagine? Like, well,
not that means he's gonna join him just because he looks like him.
True. True.
But this is the Buncha Podheads podcast. Is this number 11?
I think this is number 11. I want to say this is number 11. I'm not really sure. Like that's a scary thought. I thought we skipped 11.
This is the no.
I thought
we did 11.
I thought
and then we went
11,
back in time and made number 10.
I thought we
great.
skipped 11 on 10, and then we made 11, and this is 12. Like, because I thought we were like, oh, we're gonna skip 11.
You're gonna confuse the shit out of me again.
I did this whole story on episode 10, and then 11 came, and I was like, oh, we made it to 11, and you're like, yeah, and I was like, double digits, and we were like,
double digits.
Double digits.
I'm finding out. I'm finding out, people.
You're finding out. So I was driving over here, and I was like, Mark, son of a bitch, Mark, it's raining. God damn it, Mark.
This is number 11. Number 10 was the last one we did.
Number 10 was the last one we did?
You told the chlamydia story, but you kept saying "come Lydia." That's one of those things.
Come Lydia,
like you say things like really strange sometimes, or get like words or letters mixed up, and you say like all weird.
Hilarious. I remember that episode.
But yes, this is Buncha Podheads number 11. I hope you enjoyed our lengthy intro talking about pro wrestling, because obviously, pro wrestling fans. That sounded way worse than it was.
That did. It sounded way worse. I wonder what it sounds like if you put a sound thing up to it, like one of those like giant microphones that are to record that kind of sound, and like you listen to it smack that table like that. Because we heard that ricochet off of that. Imagine that like in a decibel form, like on the bass, like it would sound like your whole table shattering. Maybe. Like if you had headphones on.
I thought it cracked it, but no, that's just like a smudge. But no, I see what you're saying. But yes, welcome to Buncha Podheads number 11.
Number 11.
But yeah, sir, what
the fuck?
What have you been up to?
Well,
I know you've been doing the school thing or figuring that all out and shit. And you usually give us an update.
I start school next week. Nice. Yeah, I'll be going
super close.
On the 27th.
It's all happening.
I guess not exactly like in a week. But it is. It's all happening very quickly. Like, I talked about it. I feel like I talked about it months ago. Like, I feel like I've been waiting, and then, like, it's finally happening, and, like, it's just going to take off from here. Because it's like, now that I'm in, now I just have to work.
Yeah.
Like, now I just have to do it. And, like, the first semester ends in, like, fucking December. Yeah, like it's like a 4 or 5 month course for the first semester, and then I'm assuming it picks up like a 2 or 3 months after that.
So you're doing like all the prerequisite classes and shit?
I only have one, and that's next semester.
Why is that? Because I had to take like a whole
because I passed everything. I passed everything except for math.
Oh, gotcha. Because of the compass test.
I don't know how the fuck I passed everything, dude. Like writing, I told a story. Okay, you know how like I talk on here. Now imagine me typing that out. Like I was just like, this is a story about the story, and like I just broke down what they said, because it was like break down what they're explaining in the paragraph, and I'm like, okay, he fucking told his parents this, and I was just like, and I'm like, I and then I was done with it, and they were like, no, it needs to be like 3 paragraphs long, it needs to have perfect punctuations, it needs to have period. You know how I text sometimes, like I'll have a long ongoing sentence or like a Facebook post, it's just there's no punctuations, there's no periods, there's no good spelling there.
Yeah. I'm kind of a grammar Nazi, so I know.
And I passed it 3 points above what you're supposed to get in writing. So I was like, done.
Wow, man.
Writing was done.
So you know it. That makes it even more irritating that you do that. Because you know what you need to do. You're just saying, fuck it. Not only that, but literally, like your phones nowadays make it so easy. They automatically capitalize sentences. They automatically, if you press space twice real quick, it automatically puts a fucking period at the end of the sentence. Like I hate it when I read like those run-on sentences where you can't distinguish this bit of information from this bit of information. Like it's like a different.
Then it comes back circle over here in this third part.
Well, depending on where punctuation would be, they could be saying like 3 different things. Yeah. You know what I mean?
True. punctuation and then like a period at the end.
Because you don't know if these two words apply to this or this. You know what I mean? Like this side of the sentence or this side of the sentence. I get it. Sorry.
I could read through it, but I get it. I understand it.
It's just, I know, that's the irritating part. Is you understand all of that, but yet still do it.
And, like, I destroyed reading. Like, reading was easy, because reading was just, like, read this paragraph, figure out, because you had, like, 12 minutes to finish this test. Like, so I'm trying to blow through this shit. Like,
yeah.
And it was like, read this question and figure out the answer. Well, I know how to skim the question and find out the answer right away. So instead of, like I just fast read it. I just read until I find the sentence that talks about whatever the answer is, and boom, 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 boom. I got like a 73. I don't know what you can score, but I got like a 73 on reading just by like
word problems.
Yeah, like word problems. I just sped read it and just went through it and just was like doom, 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 doom.
That's clever. Like what I used to do is I would just go to the end of it and see what the actual question was, and then go read the fucking thing and try to, by deduction, figure out how to answer the question. You know what I mean?
So that's what I did too. I would read the answer, but then I would speed read the paragraph.
Yeah.
So I would find where, because sometimes, a lot of times it would be like, and then there was like what doesn't belong in this sentence. So like if you were saying something and it was like, put something here, like what would you finish it with or something. There was like dumb things too, like in there, like it was all multiple choice. And then like the essay, the 60-minute essay threw me off at the end, because it was like you have to write 150 words, like all double spaced, like print, like oh my god, it was insane. So I had like 3 like different paragraphs of different stories that I had to write. And the math is what got me, because I haven't done math since like high school. So, like, I had to do, like, algebra and shit, and I'm like, I don't remember any of this stuff. Then it was, like, decimal points, and it was, like, long division. It was, like, college math. It was, like, basic college math.
See, math is weird, because math seems so intimidating, but as long as you know the formula, pretty much any math can be done, even by, like, a dummy, as long as you follow the formula for these problems. Like, but math is just so,
that's the problem. I haven't done it
in
so long that I don't remember the formula for the math problem.
Yeah.
Like, once I learn the formula, because, like, algebra is easy. Like, once I relearn how to do algebra, I'll be able to blow through both courses of math, because I have to get through the prerequisite math. And then once I get to the prerequisite math, that puts me on a college level.
Yeah.
So now that's like me graduating high school, ready to go to college. Like, I'll have a good enough math. Then I have to take 2 college math classes, because HTML5 and web design both have the same math classes. So I only have to take 2. I got lucky. I only have to take 4.
Yeah.
I have to take 2, which are the same for each course. Those will be next year. Like, those will be this year, next semester, in like 6 months or whatever, I have to take the first set of math. And then the next year, I have to take the second set of math. Now, the second set of math is going to be like, it's going to, like, I could be on a podcast one time, and I'm just like, I picture myself like the thing where it's like trying to figure out an equation, and I'm just always going to be here like breaking stuff down into mathematical equations. Like, I'm just going to be like
a physicist.
Well, Darth Vader would beat Superman because of the physics that was broken down in the Force. And like, I would just break it down in this. You'd be like, dude, that doesn't make any sense. You just made this long equation for no reason. Like, the whole hour of the podcast is just me writing on a whiteboard, like explaining what my theorem would be. Yeah. Never having an answer to it, because it's never solved, because it's a theory.
Yeah.
So there is no answer.
You can't actually test.
Yeah, you can't actually do it. So that's what I've been doing. So I got that set up. So I got my books. I got 3 books. I got the HTML5 book. I got some book for 3D animation that I got to look through. It's weird. It's like it's so much. Like, I don't know. Like, I haven't like sat down and actually looked at it, because like I looked at it and it talked about like, I think it was talking about like the inner workings of things, like how things work internally and what they were like code wise. Like, it was like, but it wasn't like numbers. It was just like the explanation of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then the HTML5 is going to be all code. Once I start reading that, it's just going to be code on top of code.
Because, like, just doing the podcast stuff and having to do blogs and embed things and stuff, like, every now and then I'll accidentally, like, delete one little piece and everything falls apart. I'm like, God damn it. And I don't understand any of it, so I'm just like, I just got to redo the copy and paste thing. Like,
right.
I mean, that's, like, nothing compared to the shit you're going to have to deal with, I'm sure.
Dude, I see
that. But, like, I see that code, and I'm just like, I don't know what any of this means, and mad respect to somebody that does.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because
seen a video.
that's a lot of information in just what looks like hieroglyphics.
I seen a video. Somebody brought up like the code of the internet next to like the internet web page, and he was just like, we just got to do this and this and this, and it fixes this. And then he just brought the page back over, and it was whatever. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Crazy thing is, that all breaks down to just ones and zeros in the end. How fucking crazy is
like
that?
All
that all stems from ones and zeros. And I still, I can't even wrap my mind around that fully.
Binary is insane. Like, the fact that they were able to transfer something like that in, like, code, and it runs everything. Like, the code, like, that's the fucking universe. The universe can be broken down into ones and zeros.
We can be broken
down into ones and zeros.
Fucking hate, dude.
Fucking hate, dude. Like, on a molecular level, could you imagine, like, the Matrix? Literally just seeing ones and zeros walking around. Like, if you can see, like, something happen to your eyes, and you just seen, like, on a molecular level, and everything was, like, ones and zeros.
Like the Matrix
Yeah, like the Matrix thing.
No, I get that, yeah. I couldn't imagine that.
But everything would have to be like that. That was only people. Like, he was able to see everything else. He was only seeing the people ones and zeros. You would have to see everything, because you couldn't be like, oh, I'm looking at this building and oh fuck. It would be like that movie with Roddy Piper. I'm only here to chew bubble gum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubble gum.
Fucking They Live.
They Live.
I love that movie.
Good movie.
That's a really deep fucking movie, dude.
Yeah,
that's like a super deep, like esoteric movie.
Branded, I would say, is more of
You've talked to me about this, and no, I've never seen Branded.
You need to see it. It's boring as shit, and then it gets really good.
No. Roddy Piper.
Roddy Piper.
Man, I forgot all about that movie. I love that movie.
Yeah.
He's got the glasses. He could see, like, the truth and everything. Like, he looks at a billboard, and it just says sex. You know what I mean? And then it's crazy.
It'd be like betrayal and, like, consume. Like, he'd flip through the book, and he'd be like, consume, consume, consume.
Yeah.
That's how Branded is. Like, consume.
That's cool. I like that shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I like comic books and stuff, too, because they put a lot of that esoteric shit in there.
Feed the machine.
Well, cool. So you're starting school in a week.
Yep.
You're about to be busting that shit out, and before you know it, we'll be seeing some creative shit coming.
CM Punk's going to be our next guest.
Oh, God. No, we'll end up getting sued and then suing him.
I shouldn't say that. Cocabana.
Yeah, I know. I've been hearing about that lately.
Yeah.
But games, since we were talking games, fucking... There are two games I'm pretty sure we're both eagerly anticipating.
Yep. Have you seen the trailer for both of them?
I have, and I even watched the 6-minute gameplay video for Red Dead 2.
Okay.
And I watched the QuakeCon Bethesda thing for Fallout 76 and shit like that. I watched some of that. I want to play that Blades game. I signed up to play the beta.
I thought it was out already.
It's out. You can beta test it, I guess.
Gotcha.
And I signed up for it, but I never got an email or anything. I guess that's like a select,
because Bethesda always does that selected betas.
Not only that, I think I had to tell them what phone I had too, because you can either. But I figured you can play it on the PC too.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll just play it on PC.
Right.
But I think that hindered me having an older phone, because I don't have iOS 11 point whatever it is. I can't update past 10 point something.
You need a certain point and up. Like,
yeah,
it's like
I got a 5.
You got
like
10.1, and you need like a 10.8 and above. Like something dumb.
Or like 11, because there's a whole number. Like I think I'm on 10, and you guys are on 11 point something, aren't you?
Yeah, I think
maybe even 12 at this point.
I'll have to look at it.
That's how long it's been. I can't update my phone past what it is now at all, and I haven't been able to for
my phone
a year.
Can put like a fairy dragon on the table.
Yeah, mine can't do that.
Yeah.
So best I can do is like Snapchat filters.
That's where phones have. I don't have a home button.
I know. I can't do that cool shit you used to send me with the animated like alien and unicorn and shit. I loved that shit.
Like
it was
inspired
so funny.
This whole thing, dude. Like starting that, like that AR shit, because like Apple's about to come out with a motherfucking like AR car, like completely like augmented reality driving. Like, you remember Death Race? Like how you couldn't see Frankenstein's head and all he could see was like the augmented reality vision. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm assuming it's going to be, is just you sitting in this smart ass car. Even if you're driving like manually, you're only going to see the road for what it is. Like, you're only going to see what the computer feeds you.
Real life and shit.
Yeah. Imagine you're in your driveway and your computer's malfunctioning. And you think you're driving, and you're driving, and you're driving, and you're driving, and you can't escape. All of a sudden you're not. You can't escape the house because all of a sudden you're not. You're just trapped in this car. And then the car just, like, kills you somehow, like Harry. Like a modern-day Harry, like, with a smart car.
It's like Black Mirror, some shit.
That would be a Black Mirror, some shit. But yeah, Red Dead 2 looks good.
It looks fucking great. Like, and I noticed quite a few things in that 6 minutes of gameplay.
See, I didn't play much of Red Dead 1.
Oh, really? Dude, I played that game, like, 3 times. Like,
it was
all
cool.
the way through.
It was a sweet game. Like, Red Dead 2 looks awesome.
To
with
me, that was
being
like,
able to play poker and, like, doing the little shit. Like, the dynamic. Because I watched Angry Joe break it down. And I seen he was breaking down, like, when they punched the dude in the mud. Like, he got up with mud all over his body. And, like, the smooth transitions.
That's like, if you notice when I think the main character's name is Arthur. When he gets thrown out the window in the beginning, like, closer to the beginning of that 6-minute video, he gets thrown out the window, and when he lands in the mud, it actually leaves the correct imprint of his body in the mud, and then you see where, like, he rolls over where his leg goes and his arm goes, and he pushes himself. You could see that imprint in the mud.
That's awesome.
And
see, I didn't see all that.
Like, what else? Dude, and not only that, they added, like, the weather and shit, the weather systems.
The dynamic weather system looks amazing.
It makes it, like, everything's a little foggier. That's not as clear, but it's that's the way it would be. You know what I mean? Like,
because you're going around on fucking sand.
You see, like, individual drops of rain coming down and hitting the ground and making... But, like, it's so crazy how dynamic it is. A dude gets bucked off a horse and gets kicked, and his body actually reacts the way it is and the way it would. Like,
that's awesome.
It's not just like a crash test dummy just doing something like, crazy, like glitching out or something. But, dude, it looks so good.
What I seen that could be a concern, though, is you might like, the squatting. Like, with your squad. Like, it almost seemed like the exploration was taken away because you always have to take somebody with you for a mission. Like, you might be able to free roam by yourself, like, do dumb stuff like side quests and shit, but it seems like you have to take either 1 or 6 people with you at a time to do each one of these missions.
You mean, like, with multiplayer? Or you're talking
non-player
characters?
No, just in the game. Just the non-playable characters. Like, the scenes where... Because you were, like... You kept getting... They talked about you getting kicked out of towns. Like, you kept getting kicked out of town from town. And you had to go and rob these stagecoaches or, like, and trains to bring them back food and stuff so your people can survive.
Yeah.
But for those, you needed to take people with you. Now, that's how they took it. I anticipated it as GTA 5's Heist. You needed a crew of people to be able to go rob something.
Yeah, and you would have to hire certain guys.
Yeah, you'll have to hire certain guys. I don't think you'll always need 1 or more people with you. I don't think they're going to force you to always have a follower. No. I think because it's such an open world game, you'll be able to just go out there and get your ass whipped by accident and maybe die without somebody with you. And obviously it's a game, so you'll respawn. But, like, imagine you go out there and you just get shot in the back of the head because you didn't have anybody watching your back, and there's just a gang that comes up, or you get captured. And and it creates, like, a little side story because it's all, like, they have little dumb shit. Like, you get captured and it unlocks a little side story where your crew has to come and help you.
Yeah.
Or automatically switches to one of your other crew members.
Well, you said you didn't really play much of the first
No,
game.
I didn't play much of the first one.
Well, I think if you had, a lot of these questions would be maybe not answered, but you would see kind of where they might go with all that shit. Like, there was multiple different kinds of things you could do. Not only that, but, like, there's probably, like, in a way, like, different tiers of missions. Like, ones where it might require you to do this. Just like in GTA, you don't have to do this right now.
Yeah.
You could just go do this stuff right now. Or, like, these missions do require you to have a crew. Or this one you could have a crew or just do it by yourself. Or these ones you have to do by yourself. And then not only that, there was, like, achievement stats and stuff. Where, like, shoot 5 birds out of the sky while on a moving train. You know what I mean? And it would and you'd unlock different outfits and stuff by doing all these different things. Like, I feel like it's just going to be a different... Like, you're going to go into the menu and there's going to be different parts of the menu where all this stuff is, like, controlled and seen. Like,
okay.
Or, like, maybe even the map. Like in GTA, like, there's a mission here, there's a mission here, there's a mission. You can kind of get some information about what the mission's going to be. Or you could stop the mission, reload, You know what I mean? And just be like, okay, I'm gonna wait to do this one.
Yeah, because the loading is intense, dude. Like the real time loading, like everything's supposed to be super realistic. Everything's supposed to feel like a gun.
It looks so
should feel like. It looks good.
The animals, dude, look incredibly real. There's a shot where Arthur, I guess, is carrying a fucking deer on his shoulder, and the deer, it looks so fucking real. Like, it looks like a real deer. Even the way it's looking, it looks like dead weight. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen, like, a dead deer, a large dead creature in real life, but, like, there's nothing like that motionless dead weight movement that things do, and I got that feeling looking at that deer kind of like flop around on his back and shit as he's moving.
It's the little detail, like the creek, like how the creek was just flowing down and like hitting the rocks, like it would like that a little bit of splash to where it wasn't forced, it was just there.
The fucking horses, dude, you're looking at him riding a horse. The horse has muscle definition. You're seeing the muscles, and it's like ass move as
and
it's
did you
walking.
hear it? It was
you're
like
seeing him move like he would on a horse.
Depending on how you take care of your horse, it'll be worth more money. Like they were saying, these horses are for breeding, these horses were for racing.
Your horse dies, it's dead.
Yeah.
You develop a relationship with your horse. You guys start to work better together.
Like,
he gets faster. All these different things.
You have like Clydesdales to like carry your shit for you and stuff.
But just develop. There's a whole dynamic of developing a relationship with your horse, just like real cowboys did back in the day. And like it gets better the more you interact and do and treat it.
The more you brush it, the more the time you feed
and then,
it.
When it
you
dies,
don't ride it until it's fucking until it's like leg is broken and shit.
Yeah, like you guys have like this weird mutual respect for each other.
It's like Ash and his Charizard in Pokemon, to where like you just built that relationship from the beginning on.
I guess I wasn't really a Pokemon guy, but I'm assuming you're right there.
Yeah,
but I mean, and then if the horse dies, the horse is dead. You gotta find another horse and start that all over again. And
which would be so sad. Could you imagine like you could play? Because I can only imagine your horse is gonna live in game time probably a good 100 or so hours, like 100 or so hours, or at least the story.
Or if you're someone like me, you're pausing and making sure your horse survives as long as possible because you love that fucking horse. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But your horse, say your horse had a set time of like 100 hours. Like you played 100 hours with that horse. You bred that horse. You brushed that horse. You've been through the snow. You've been through the fog.
Yeah, you guys
you slept. You like laid next to that horse, and when it was sick, you fucking fed it right, and it's sitting there, and you're like, you walk out, and it's dying. And you gotta sit there, and it's and they give you like this sap ass cutscene to where your horse like literally, and you gotta walk, or like your horse, say your horse gets rabid,
or the dude
and it starts attacking you, and you gotta shoot it. Like, could you imagine like walking up and your horse is about to eat you, and you gotta fucking blow its brain? It'd be like in real life, like having to blow your fucking dogs out.
Or like the dude you've been searching for the last 7 quests is outside your cabin all of a sudden, and he's just killed your fucking horse.
He like slits his fucking throat.
You're like, fuck you, motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and then you're like filled with all kinds of emotions because you love that horse. You just killed him, but you want to kill that motherfucker. You're angry.
You hit sad, that fucking slow-mo. That slow-mo looks sick.
We're getting
dude.
really attached to digital horses.
Are.
That's a good fucking band name, Digital Horses.
That's a good title for this podcast, Digital Horses.
Digital Horses. Trademarked. Matt Archer Media. Right here.
Literal trademarked.
Yeah. Horse stomped.
Speaking of horse stomped, we can transition to Fallout 76 with horse stomp.
But before, I did write this down before we leave Red Dead. There is a shot in that 6-minute gameplay thing where you see a young John, Abigail, and Jack Marston sitting around the campfire with Arthur and the gang and everybody.
Which is the people from the first one?
So they're in the game at least. Yeah, John and Abigail.
Technically, right?
And then Jack is who you are in the, spoiler alert, by the end of Red Dead Redemption 2. John has died. I don't know if you know the story of Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, I know the story, and like they had this
Red Dead Redemption 1
and all that stuff. Like,
well, that was like a whole separate game. Technically, the way that game played out, Undead Nightmare, it was kind of like a whole parallel universe thing. Like I don't understand how it could have fit
in there
unless it was before all this stuff happened. But even the way that one ended, John died, and then you played as a zombie John for the rest. Like, if you wanted to keep playing and finish, like, smaller quests or just keep fucking around and killing people, you were then on a zombie John that when he talked or anything, it was just like, rah, but he was functional. Like, he wasn't, like, trying to eat people and shit. Anyway.
Like Santa Clarita Diet on Netflix.
I forget where I was going with that. But yeah, I feel like that was just completely separate, like kind of like in a comic book. It has nothing to do with the other one.
Interesting.
It just takes place in the same people, kind of like a parallel world.
And he's in the second game.
Yeah, because it's a prequel.
Yeah.
So you're gonna
the first
see
game ended with them like
when they were
that was
still
like
in
the
the
end
gang.
of the era. Like that was the end of the cowboy era.
This is like I guess if Jack is like maybe he looked like 7 or 8, maybe 10.
Okay.
In there, I would imagine that it didn't take place too long before Red Dead 1.
And there was some really cool scenes too where they showed you in jail. And, like, your gang's busting you out of jail. Mm-hmm. And, like, they were saying that might be the punishment. Like, your gang's not going to bust you out like that cutscene every time. That was part of the story, probably. But that's going to be, like, if you get caught, like, in GTA where you get caught and you go to the hospital, or when you die, you go to the hospital and shit. When you get caught, you go to jail or whatever. Yeah. That's going to be, like, your punishment. Like, you get caught by the sheriff. You probably sit in the cell and somehow got to get out. You got to wait your time. Or just, like, cutscenes it. You go into the cell and then you come out and you lost some money or something, or they took your weapons from you.
Yeah, that was stuff. They like actually showed that in the gameplay thing where there was a guy in jail. Okay. And it looked like a gang or the gang. I can't remember if it was Dutch's gang, the main gang or whatever. Yeah. Basically blew out the wall or pulled out the wall and has got that guy to escape from prison. I don't know if it was Arthur or not, the guy you'll be playing as, but which you might play as multiple different characters.
See, that would be interesting, like how GTA 5 was, where you switch through characters.
It makes me wonder if they added more dynamics then, because when you went dynamics to that whole thing, because when you went to jail in the first game, you could either pay to get out or serve your time, and if you served your time, like some of your stats or something went down. And but in this one, I'm thinking maybe they added a few more dynamics where you could break out or you can get your gang to bust you out. Because wouldn't that be normal back then? Like, your gang wouldn't just leave you to rot. They'd break you out. Because back then, you could do that sort of shit.
Yeah. You would fuck it.
I mean, how many Western movies have you seen where people got busted out of jail by just, like, blowing up the wall and the guy climbing out?
Set up some dynamite.
Yeah.
You just blow out the wall. You take the guy out, like...
Because I saw Red Dead 1. I played that game multiple times all the way through and was like, this is a fucking masterpiece of a game. It's not perfect, but like this is a fucking... It's damn near a perfect game. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, so I can only imagine how really great this one's going to be.
And like, I feel almost that like, because the feedback from Grand Theft Auto 5 has been great, but they didn't come out with any single player DLC for Grand Theft Auto 5. Everything was online.
Oh, that's right.
Everything came out for online. So Red Dead is their chance to redeem themselves as that single-player experience. They'll probably still have the online like Red Dead 1 had, but Red Dead 2 could have quite possibly the greatest story going forward that Rockstar has written, because look how much money they made off of Grand Theft Auto. They take all that money and put a big chunk of it back into Red Dead 2, because they're talking about Bully coming out. Like another Bully game coming out, and then GTA. Like,
I didn't play much of Bully, but I thought it was cool.
Bully is cool. Like,
that was I would love another. That was like
Bully.
10 fucking years ago, probably.
Yeah, dude,
maybe longer.
Long time ago.
Even longer than that.
Rockstar's did a lot of weird games. Like, they did Midnight Club. They did that racing game.
I remember.
That was a badass racing game. And then you got like the expansion for $20.
Well, in all fairness, you talked about how GTA didn't come out with any DLC or anything like that. Well, you got to understand that was a game they remastered for PS4 and added like couple more hours of content to.
Did they add a couple more hours of content? Because I didn't play it.
It was remastered and had like more missions and shit. So basically, they added. It was like a director's cut, kind of. Like they added a whole bunch more to do.
Awesome.
That's why I sold my PS3 version and wanted the PS4.
$50 still. Like GTA 5's still expensive, just like Skyrim. Like if you go to buy Skyrim right now, you're gonna pay $40.
You go on Amazon though, you can get it for because if you pay attention, it'll go up and down. So like I'll add stuff to my cart so that my cart will notify me when it went up in price or down in price.
Okay.
So like I used to wait because I wanted the Steelbook edition of Skyrim. I was like, this is the third fucking time I'll be buying it. I'm gonna buy this version, and I'm never gonna buy another version of it because I bought it for Xbox, and then my Xbox shit on me. Bought it for PS3, and now I gotta buy it for PS4 because I want the remastered one. And it's been years I've been saying I'm gonna buy it.
Same
but
here.
I kept watching that go down, and I was just like, okay, $5 more bucks.
Like
I'll
there's
buy
gonna
that
be
shit.
an entire game. There's been an entire game that's come out, and I'm still thinking about buying Skyrim. Like Fallout 4. And then Starfield's going to come out. and I'm still gonna be like, I should probably buy Skyrim.
Did you see?
But then by the time I actually go to buy Skyrim, they're gonna be like, Elder Scrolls 6 comes out tomorrow, and I'm gonna be like, pfft.
I don't give a fuck. I'd still buy Skyrim.
Would you still buy Skyrim?
I would still. I mean,
imagine
if
Skyrim, but Elder Scrolls 6, dude.
If 6 is coming out tomorrow, I'm not buying Skyrim.
Yeah.
But like, I would buy Skyrim, like.
If 6 was coming out in like 6 months. Like, they announced 6 at E3, and they were like, in November it's coming out, and it's like June.
I would almost like, that would almost give me more incentive to do it, because I'd be like, I know it's coming out. I need to get my fix, need to get ready for the next 6 months. I'm playing Skyrim.
Are you gonna play Starfield?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
How could I not?
Have you seen what they did to No Man's Sky?
No, but I heard it's getting like incredibly better.
Yeah. They updated it.
I had a feeling. Like, it was so ambitious, there's no way it could have been that right off the rip.
Well, they had this huge free update that's multiplayer. You can build stuff. You can do, like, all this crazy stuff that should have been there the whole time. And it's like, you can do... It's the open world space game that everybody wants. It's kind of like EVE Online. Did you like that game? But not as intense as EVE Online.
Like, that was so complicated, I couldn't even wrap my head around certain aspects of the game.
They have like $1 million battle going on right now at EVE Online.
Maybe it's different now. And I was younger when I first started playing that.
Yeah.
Because
well, I think it's still the same, because you have to spend on real money on like ships and stuff. So there's like 2 million.
Maybe that's what my issue was.
Yeah,
I couldn't do nothing.
There's like 2 people that have like these crazy ships that are like 20,000 a piece, and like they're about to go to battle. Because when you lose a ship in that game, you lose a ship forever. So if you spent $20,000 building your ship,
it's all
on
real
money,
yeah,
it's done. It's dead.
It's basically like Second Life for space in a way. Like,
Second Life is intense. I never played it, but I heard about it on like
tried
Dr.
to.
Phil.
But it's, again, you got to have money to play that game.
That's what sucks. Like, those games, like, you want to play them because they're like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like, you could do whatever. But then it's like, insert credit card and we'll just start charging.
If I'm going to invest money in my life, it's not going to be my digital avatar
I'm not
life.
gonna. My avatar's not gonna have.
I'm gonna further my actual self. You know what I mean?
Like, I'm gonna be.
I'm not gonna buy a new
like,
$40 shirt for my avatar. I'm gonna buy a new $40 shirt for myself.
It's gonna be 2 years. You're gonna be like, so how'd school go? And I'm like, oh, it went great, Mark. You're gonna be like, oh yeah, so what did you learn? I'm gonna open my laptop, and it's gonna be my Second Life character, and he's gonna be like super rich and famous, and you're like, get the fuck out of my house.
I'm not gonna. I don't know what the pricing is on there.
I don't either.
But I don't know if like a house on there is actually like $30 or $50 or $60,000.
Something dumb.
But like, I'm sure it's not cheap.
No, what it is it's probably like credits. Like, you probably buy like $100 credits, and you just keep buying that stuff, and you get like, you have to have like a bank of probably like 10,000 credits, which probably cost you like $5,000 in real money.
Like just thinking of it in like supercard terms, for like $99.99, you get like enough credits to buy like the best thing in the game.
3 of them, like 3 of those packs, like you would get enough to buy like 3 of that stuff.
So,
and then they run promotions to where like for $20 you can get 100% more. So I'm assuming Second Life would be something like that, to where it's like, we'll give you enough credits to buy a house for $1,000.
Yeah,
$999.
How did we get on this? Oh, Starfield, yeah. But yeah, I don't think, is Starfield gonna be? No, it's not online. They already said it's not going to be online. It's going to be
a space simulator,
a one-player game.
Yeah, it's going to be.
So it's going to be Fallout, not Armageddon or Apocalypse.
Okay. I don't know if I talked about this before. Go ahead.
Just a future RPG, essentially, space RPG.
I don't know if I talked about this before, but this could be the connect of all the universes.
I heard that.
To where Skyrim is the first, Fallout is the future, and then Starfield would be the further future.
I heard that. To me, though, I don't buy it.
You don't buy it?
I mean,
for like the Bethesda-verse?
First off, like the very first thing I would think about that would make me doubt it is how did Fallout go from that, from post-apocalypse to like super modern future, as if like you couldn't get that
because
far.
You see the
it would have to be like,
I mean, look at
thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years.
Look at Fallout 4 with the Padawan, the flying spaceship, like the flying blimp. Basically, they basically still would just go off of their.
I guess that's true.
They would rebuild the space program. They would slowly. It would be. I would say it would have to be at least 300 or 400 years off of Fallout.
Yeah, I guess
to be believable. And then even then, you're only exploring like Mars, and then you're doing what we're doing now.
Yeah.
Like in a few, because if you had to start all over again, and then you're sending a rocket ship off with nuclear fuel, because that's all you have.
Yeah.
Is everything's nuclear, so you're sending nukes into space with a person trapped inside of a chamber. Like I picture Starfield as like kind of like Fallout 4, where you wake up in a chamber and you're in space and your ship's crashing and you land on a planet and you have to rebuild your ship to get off that planet. And I'm hoping it's slightly like I don't know if you ever played Mass Effect, but Mass Effect had several different planets you can go to.
Yeah, I played Mass Effect.
That would be cool. Like if Starfield did that on a slightly bigger scale, because it's a Bethesda game.
I get the feeling it's gonna have a lot of Mass Effect.
Like imagine there's only 2 planets to go to, but each planet's the size of Fallout 4, like map wise. Like you get 2 Fallout 4s on each planet, and that's how the story unfolds.
With a game with a name like Starfield, I imagine it's gonna be much larger than that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this game probably isn't coming out for at least 5 years, if not longer. I would think, because they're literally. Well,
since they announced it, I think it'll be out because 76 comes out.
Well, they still got to do Elder Scrolls
this year.
Elder Scrolls is coming out before Starfield.
No, Elder Scrolls is coming out after Starfield. Starfield's next.
Starfield is next?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
When they announced it, come on, man, let me at least say it.
I know, go ahead.
When they announced it, he said that their next game is the one you've all been asking about, and then they announced Elder Scrolls. And then he said,
"No, he showed Starfield first.
No, he showed Elder Scrolls.
No, he showed Elder Scrolls last, because I remember, because I've been following this whole thing. Starfield's next. Starfield's the next.
Is it?
Yeah, I followed this whole story up until that, because he announced Starfield, and what it was a satellite that goes up into space and it opens up.
Yeah, it was just like a short little video.
Was like, we have
and
something
then it showed
else.
the logo.
And it was like, and I was like, oh! I was like Vince McMahon in that meme.
All right.
When they showed the
you
field.
You might be right. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah. But yeah, Starfield's next. Starfield will be out in like 2 years.
All right, I got that backwards then. Maybe. I'll have to look it up,
Bethesda's been expanding. So Bethesda has several different, like look how fast 76 came out. Fallout 4 was already out. Fallout 4 has only been out for, 2 or 3 years?
Yeah. 76
is coming out. Another 2 or 3 years, Starfield could be out. Another 2 years or 3 years, Skyrim could be out. We have, imagine we have, So we have 6 years before Elder Scrolls 6 comes out.
Yeah.
And they say they've been working on it this whole time. Like, say a crew of, 10 people have been working on it this whole time. Like, however big of a crew you need to just, work in the shadows.
Yeah.
And they get to this point, and the entire crew jumps on, and then they work on it for another 2 years. And then another 2 years. And then they got 4 years of the entire crew working on it. Imagine,
they get all the complicated shit figured out. Imagine
fusing with a dragon. Imagine, them, we have a new race, and it's how, did you ever play, not Mass Effect, but the other one that they came out with? There's 3 of them.
Destiny?
No, it's BioWare came out with it.
I don't know, dude. I don't play many games.
Okay. They have.
Oh, you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay, they have a new race. They had a new race that you can choose in the 3rd game that you could.
Dragon Age.
They had Qunari. Qunari was the 7-foot tall, and I didn't pick it because all the faces looked ugly in the creation, so I didn't want that Qunari.
Yeah.
But imagine them being we came out with a new race. It's this dragon scale race, and imagine you're just fucking 7'4". You have all these scales, and you're partly human, and you just have little features of a dragon, not too crazy, but but it's so detailed. You see the feather of the dragon coming off your face, and you see the rays of the scale coming through your arms and shit. And it's and then it's you could pick this race, and then you just create it however you want it to look. You could mod it. Remember when Need for Speed Carbon came out, and it was the first time you were able to really mold things?
Yeah.
Imagine them giving you a creation like that. You can take it and sims it. You can, instead of just giving us slider bars, you just put a thing on there and you pull the stomach out to
just
where you want it to be.
Every little bit.
Every little thing, and then it puts it in the game.
You basically sculpt it.
You basically sculpt it. Yeah.
That'd be slick.
And then you walk.
That'd be complicated.
And then you walk through the game how what's it McCall's gonna be? Red Dead's gonna be, to where imagine Red Dead but on a Skyrim level. Yeah, like imagine that. Like
a
Red
Western.
Dead's like dynamic weather.
In a way,
with their big
Fallout's
open
kind of
world.
like that. It's just
Fallout's kind of like that, but it's like it's different.
very much like a post-apocalyptic Western.
It's different though. Like it is a very post-apocalyptic Western. Now imagine that in the medieval times, and like you're running around with swords and blades again, and like you're at the blacksmith, but instead of just sitting there hitting it with a hammer, it shows you go in there and like forge the fire and like not every time, obviously, because you're not going to go through that cutscene every fucking time. But imagine the first time you go to a smithing and it actually, like, for like a 5-minute cutscene, you're forging a fucking sword. And it was or when you go to forge a better, like a legendary sword, it goes through that little cutscene.
Yeah.
And it's just like mainly a loading screen to load that weapon that you're forging, but custom weapons. Imagine being able to take this weapon. And I don't know if you ever played Diablo, but Diablo 3 has this, or Diablo 2 has this thing to where you could take any weapon in the game and put a skin over it. So, like, say I had the strongest weapon in the game,
you can make it
I want it to look like this fucking claymore over here. You just skin the strongest weapon to where now this weapon has the stats that you wanted it to, but it looks like this weapon. It looks
the way you want it to.
Or you could just customize, period. Like, you can just take it, and which would be a lot harder, just like your character. It would be a lot harder to mold it.
Yeah.
Or you could just mold your shit, like, because Todd Howard said he wants to do things that he can't do yet. And the only thing I could think of that stuff they can't do yet is, like, when the tree sprout comes out of the ground, it actually looks like it's coming. Well, we've seen that shit before. I want better stuff. Like, I want to be able to, like, I want to go in there, and I want my creation kit to be a creation kit, like I want to do what I'm learning at school. I want to be able to mold my motherfucking character to look like, and that's why I'm basically going to school, because I love the creation part of everything.
You want to be able to make the games the way you want them.
I want to be able to make the games the way I want to make them.
No,
like I want to learn how to use the Unreal
Engine.
Engine.
Right?
I want to learn how to use the Unreal Engine so I can see if it'll speed up my animation time, to where I just make animated characters and I just make episodes through the Unreal Engine, because it's like basically making a video game, and then release that video game.
Well, you're gonna do it, sir. Get on it. Use that as motivation.
I already have. I got a picture of Arnold in my wallet. No, not really, but
Arnold. Fuck.
I don't know what Arnold would have to do with anything. Arnold.
Well, I guess to get back to the whole, because we started talking about how Fallout, Elder Scrolls, and Starfield could somehow connect.
Could all connect in inner.
Well, okay, I forgot about the fact that Fallout takes place in like an alternate world where the war went nuclear, but they were running everything on nuclear power, unlike the real world. We tended to stay away from nuclear power.
Yeah, they were literally running
because
the
they
entire
were
world on
using nuclear power in this alternate timeline of theirs. Everything was way more advanced than it should have been for like the 40s or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they had robots and stuff.
Robots,
it was like the 1940s, 1950s, like
crazy weapons and stuff.
Yeah,
and
dude. And even in the post-apocalyptic part of it, they had all that crazy shit. Like,
so I guess if the apocalypse eventually cleared up, some of the radiation went down, and things started to look up for a while, a few hundred years down the road, with the people that are left and the little bit of technology that they had to build off of, I guess Starfield could possibly happen the way I think it's going to be.
Taking the digital animation.
But Elder Scrolls, I don't see how that could lead up to Fallout. You know what I mean?
Well, because Elder Scrolls is thousands of years prior. It kind of like how real life, like the Bible, like that's basically what that would be like. What they need, if they really want to intertwine those.
There was an apocalypse for the Elder Scrolls. That's like an ancient civilization. Like they talk about, like Atlantis was destroyed. That whole world was destroyed, and then like maybe it was a flood or something. That just ended.
Imagine.
And then like the flood receded.
Imagine Elder Scrolls just being.
It created this new world.
A religion in Fallout 4. Like how in real life, like all this crazy shit happened. Jesus parted the sea, and like there was this big flood, and Noah rode on a boat with 40 animals and shit. Elder Scrolls had deities and demons and different rifts and stuff.
Yeah.
Imagine that just being a story, and then Fallout 4 happened. Now Fallout 4 is the real world. Elder Scrolls may have happened. It happened to some people. It would be a religion. It could be like they could to intertwine these stories. This is how they would have to tell it. It becomes like a religion in Fallout, like how everybody worships Adam and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe you would hear something about how somebody found an Elder Scroll from the Air 15, whatever it was, and then you would go into Starfield. The problem with them intertwining is Starfield. Look, that digital render that they showed, where it was just a satellite opening up and the planet,
very different.
It looks too crisp.
Yeah.
For that to be anything Fallout related, that would have to be 10,000 years in the future for that to be like. That looks more. That looks more now time. That looks more like they're about to shoot fucking Matt Damon into space for the Mars movie. Like that looks like they're going more realistic.
It
like
reminded
a completely
me
different
of,
story.
Like a modern 2001 Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
Like that's what they were going for. Like even though the imagery and stuff of like where you see the planet and it forms the logo and shit. That was very 2001 A Space Odyssey. Like the whole opening is just like that. And
which is cool because Bethesda likes doing that alternate story. Like, but it looks like it's gonna go with a more realistic like how the 1950s was an alternate story. I feel like that's what they're gonna do here. Instead of an atomic war happening, we survived when we went into space.
Yeah.
Like, this is an alternate timeline.
That could very well be it. They could do it a few different ways. They could do it along those lines. Yeah. They could do it where, like, even, like, some Oblivion Gate type deal opens it up, and that's how it connects to this. Like, you can go to this universe in which Fallout or
the
Starfield
Oblivion Gates were intense.
Or,
where you went into Minecraft.
For that matter, if you really want to get into it, probably the easiest route they could go is Elder Scrolls looks and feels like, graphics wise, a lot more like what Starfield looked like. And Elder Scrolls, they don't actually, have they ever stated that Cyrodiil and I don't know what the whole world is called. I can't remember. Is it Cyrodiil? I don't remember for Elder Scrolls.
I thought it was Tamriel. Tamriel was like...
You're right.
Tamriel's not the planet, but Tamriel's like...
Yeah, the province of Cyrodiil. Cyrodiil is where fucking Oblivion took place, I believe.
I think so,
That's where, like...
Because there's Morrowind, Oblivion... like, it's all in this, like, Tamriel space. Like, Skyrim's up here with its Black Marsh and all that stuff, and, like... Everything's in different areas of Tamriel.
The only reason I ask is because I don't know if that is like some weird alternate take on Earth, or maybe that whole Elder Scrolls world is another planet.
That's possible.
That's probably the easiest way they could go. Is that like it is connected.
Could you imagine like an
Elder
Easter
Scrolls
egg?
is this planet?
Could you imagine an Easter egg you're flying through, and there's Earth 1, and you go to it, and it's just a complete ruin? Like, it's like an Easter egg of Fallout. Maybe one super mutant's on the entire planet.
You go to Earth X, the Nazis won.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like
Earth
fucking
X.
DC.
And then you go to another planet. Like you were saying, another planet. Like, you see, like, Druids.
That's how they incorporate the Green Lantern.
There's, like, a broken castle. Like, it looks like the Green Lantern Corps. Oh, dude, that would be amazing if you become a Green Lantern in the Starfield.
Yeah.
Like, your Agent Venom. Like, imagine if they went off the wall. Like, they were like... Starfield isn't what you thought it was going to be. It's not just like your run-of-the-mill space explorer. This is Peter Parker in space, bitch.
No. The star in Starfield means all the different stars of the different pop culture universes.
Star in Starfield means Mr. Manhattan.
It's a field of pop stars.
Like, I'm excited for space exploration by Bethesda, but, like, they've done it with Prey. We've played it with...
Prey was cool. I only played the first one, and I ended up fucking it up.
Yeah.
The Ring of Death. Because I made that ring on the disc and you could only play to that point.
Yeah.
Luckily, I rented it. That was back when you could rent it.
Yeah.
But it was because my buddy's cat knocked my Xbox 360 over.
Yeah.
That's how it happened.
Damn.
And so I could only play it so far. But I liked that game. That was like one of the first Xbox 360 games.
Yeah. They ended up making another one. They made Prey. They like remade Prey. For the Xbox One.
Did they remake it? I thought it was a sequel.
It might have been a sequel. I'm not
sure.
It was
just called Prey, though, so it
but that's a space game. Then there was Dead Space. All 3 Dead Space.
Didn't play Dead Space, but people recommend it to me.
But it's like, I don't want just the run-of-the-mill space explorer guy that goes and finds, like... Unless it's like fucking Ellen Ripley, like fucking the alien, like... we're going through and we're exploring, and then all of a sudden one of my crewmates is like, "Oh, Captain!" And there's like I want some Star Trek type shit. Like I want to like go across
philosophical shit.
Yeah, like the Borg
kinda
comes on and tries to Borg my ship.
Had
like,
kind of a more philosophical outlook.
Yeah,
on
more
things
philosophical. Like I'm building my character. Like, okay, I have a space captain. I want to make fucking Captain Kirk. I want to make this guy a badass, but I want to go through like how Skyrim had the big and Fallout has the perk system. I want something similar to that. But in space, like I would have to be able to like maybe I can breathe longer, in my oxygen tank than normal. Like I got a couple more minutes on my oxygen tank when I go explore this planet. Maybe I'm more observant on certain things, and then like there'd be the lock picking and the basic bitch skills like that.
You can
but there
handle
would be
certain
more
radiations.
like aiming and stuff because we're gonna need weapons, but we don't need like blasters and shit. We just need like imagine that little fucking Star Trek had that little fucking and it would zap you and you'd be dead. Star Wars had lightsabers and blasters. Like you don't need a bunch of elaborate guns and like machine guns and a bunch of. It doesn't need to be a space warrior game. Like I want a fucking space exploration. Like I want to fucking meet the Transformers and shit. I want to go and fight Darth Vader. I want to go fucking fight the Klingons. Like I want to.
That sounds like No Man's Sky.
It does sound like No Man's Sky, but No Man's Sky has no girth.
Dude, what we're getting?
No Man's Sky has no filler like that. No Man's Sky has. They just added because I played No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky is empty space. Like there's a bunch of animals and shit to explore, but there's nothing really to do.
But we talked about it earlier.
So like, I want a game where there is shit to, like I want to go land on a planet and explore a dungeon where I find a species that no one's ever seen, and it's like this fungus, this brain-eating fungus to where I don't know my crewmate has it, and all of a sudden he's taken over my ship, and now it's me versus him, and that's just something random that happened because it's a fucking Bethesda game, and your
might
crew
get
can
that.
die, your fucking main characters can die. Sorry, your protagonists are gone.
I mean, and you may get that because the way they talk about Starfield, it's something they've been talking about for fucking ever. And like kind of figuring out how and why and how it would work, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you may very well get that, but the way I'm looking at it is this is the first of its kind, and we're probably gonna get not an Elder Scrolls, a Bethesda game that takes place in space. Don't expect too much.
I know.
Starfield 2 is probably going to be the game you really want to. I
don't think I'm ever going to get the game I want until I make it myself, to be honest. Like
there you go.
I don't think I'm going to get those cutscenes.
Apply it Bethesda.
Like I don't think I'm going to get those cutscenes until I make, because I don't want to play it. I just want to see it. I just want to see the cutscene of it. I just want to go and have that experience of me walking through the cave and then coming up on that giant spider in Skyrim. Like that first giant spider, and you're like,
well, that's Lord of the Rings, but
yeah.
Shelob. That's what I call giant spiders or Shelobs.
Fucking when you met your golem, like when you fucking like you're just that exploration feeling when you first played Skyrim. That feeling you got when you first played Skyrim. But then your 100th time playing Skyrim, you're just like, but you still want to play it.
Like, man, I don't want to raid this dungeon.
Yeah, I don't want to raid this dungeon. I want that. But I want that I'm just gonna make it. I'm just gonna make it in visual form. I'm just gonna start making
fucking do it.
Like, just give me a couple years, and all this shit will come to life.
Fucking do it, man.
All of a sudden, you're just gonna be like, no, fucking Darth Vader and fucking Optimus Prime do not fight. It just doesn't fucking work, man. And I'm like, no, it happened, and it's going up. And you're like, no, the fuck, it's not.
Have you ever heard of No Clips on YouTube?
No.
I think it's either No Clip or No Clips. It's No Clips documentaries.
Okay.
And they're documentaries about video games. A few weeks back, they released like maybe 3 or 4 videos that were all about Bethesda. And they were like 30 to an hour long, minute long documentaries, and they were fucking awesome.
Is that the one where they talked about Fallout 76 and they talked about Elder Scrolls?
They made one that they revealed all the information about Fallout 76.
It was like a Kickstarter. I seen those. I seen just those too.
Like a Irish dude or Scottish dude that does it all, and I love that guy. He does a lot of stuff with kind of funny.
Okay, see, I've never seen any of his other stuff, but I seen because at the end they give thanks to everybody that pledged to him, and it was like a lot of people.
Yeah, it's all Patreon.
Yeah.
Done. But, dude, they're all really fucking good. There's one all about the Dark Brotherhood.
Okay.
The evolution of the Dark Brotherhood. There's one all about basically the story of Bethesda.
Yeah.
And then one all about Fallout 76. And then there might be like another one about like the music.
I think I watched all of them except for the music one. I think I watched the one about the Fallout 76 and the Dark Brotherhood.
You'd probably love the one about Bethesda because...
Are you talking about the one where it interviewed Todd Howard and he had the Elder Scroll in the background and stuff?
Yeah.
I watched that.
The reason I was going to say you'd probably love it is because Todd Howard talks about how he basically just kind of went to the building and just hung out. Yeah. And said he wanted to work there, and like I think even was like a janitor for a while, and just like took jobs there because he wanted to work there and make his way up. And now he's fucking Todd Howard.
Right. That's crazy.
Like so,
I would love to be.
Get a job with Bethesda. If you give a shit just like he did, as much as you do,
yeah,
they'd hire you eventually. Just fucking pester them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Just show up every day. Just like with a new animation, with like a new
Maryland
animation every time. Like I just show up. Like it's like when you back in the day when people used to give you their mixtape, and like they would push off their mixtape on you. Like that would be me pushing off like a USB to Bethesda. Like just watch this one.
15 mixtapes in the trash can.
Yeah. You just see like 15 like micro USBs in the trash can with like all these golden fucking episode ideas in them.
Ludacris throws it in the toilet and pisses on it, and then what's his name comes in and beats his ass because of it. The dude that originally played
Vin Diesel.
The dude on Iron Man. What's his name?
Vin Diesel?
Something. Terrence Howard. He's on Empire, I think.
Yeah.
He was in the original Iron Man.
Empire.
Anyway, that's a terrible joke.
Never watched Ballers either.
Ballers is great.
Is it?
It just came back on.
That's what I heard.
I mean, it's not great, but I mean,
like Powers just came back on too.
It's Entourage, but in like the football industry, and The Rock is like a financial manager for these dudes.
Okay, see, I liked Entourage.
And I liked Entourage too. I mean, it was very thin, but I enjoyed it because I like that sort of stuff.
I like that. I like Curb Your Enthusiasm, shows like that. Like
I don't like sports really at all, except for like wrestling and MMA.
Yeah.
And I played hockey growing up, but
See,
like
I haven't
roller
watched
hockey.
any sports besides.
But I really
wrestling
enjoy that
lately.
show.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's mostly just because of The Rock and the acting.
Oh,
and
yeah.
like that. I just like that behind the scenes look at like the industry of that sort of thing.
Speaking of wrestling and acting, did you see the 2K thing with Daniel Bryan?
I did. That was awesome.
With they're bringing back showcase mode.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I want them to bring back general.
The graphics are great. I just want the game to be funner. I want it to be more like the old school games I used to play back in like where the story modes were great and like it was more like you were in the business. Well, that's why they need to bring
back general manager mode, because if they bring back general manager mode, you'll be able to run the business. And like, say you got to pick Paige, Kurt Angle, or William Regal, and you got to run the 3 shows, and you had to deal with all the wrestlers, and you had to deal with their contracts, and then you get to play out their matches if you wanted to, and watch their matches, whatever the hell you want to do. But like, they come to you after the match, and they're like, "Dude, that was bullshit." It was like, "I deserve a title." And you're like, "Why are you coming to me? I'm the general manager." Like with William Regal, where his hand is in everything.
Yeah.
And he's always out there. But then like you see Kurt Angle, and he's always like afraid if Stephanie's gonna show up and say something, or like Constable fucking Corbin just came out of nowhere. Like dumb stuff like that. It's not gonna be that far advanced, but you'll be able to do like, because they haven't had one since like 2011.
Well, I heard that 2015, 2K 2015 for WWE was the last really fucking good game they made. Ever since then, like ever since the next gen stuff is coming out, good. It's like they went back to the drawing board and just like, and I've never played 2K15, but I always hear games being compared to 2K15.
Yeah, it was good.
And
I played it.
I'm like, all right, what they need to do,
but it was good.
They just, I guess they need to make that game just in their newer version or something. But like, all the stuff you're talking about, that would all be really cool. All those little details and stuff are really nice. And but I also want that like story mode where I feel like I'm watching.
Well, that's what you would do.
I'm playing wrestling.
You would create the story. Like you would have to pick how your merchandise is sold. You would have to pick how you run your commercials. It would be like a franchise mode to where they would take universe. See what the speculation and rumor is they're going to take universe mode and just expand on that and make it general manager mode and just combine the 2 modes to where you have complete freedom. You make your show, you make whoever the title, you can put your own titles, you can put your own creative person on there, but then you're the manager. So technically, you would play like I'm hoping they do it like how Madden is, to where Madden breaks it down to where you can either be the owner, to where you would be Vince McMahon, to where you would literally have to cover everything. You would have to hire your general managers, you would have to pay everybody's salary, you would have to price the fucking hot dogs, you would have to like pick the venues and all that stuff, or you could just be the general manager, which is basically the head coach on football, to where you would be able to pick the plays. You're able to to where you would sign the contracts, you would find the new talent, and you would set the matches up, or you could just be a wrestler. So you would have 3 different options to where you could be the top guy, or you could be the manager, or you could just be the wrestler.
That's cool too, because then that gives you replay value. You can have multiple games going at the same time.
Yep.
Where this one I can wrestle, this one I could be the general manager, this one, that's awesome. Like if there was a game for Xbox 360, I believe it was. It's called NBA Ballers Phenom.
Okay.
And it was cool.
Never played it.
I'm like I said, I'm not really into sports, but what I liked about that game a lot is it's fun to play sports video games sometimes,
I love
especially
sports
basketball.
Video games.
I'm not big on like
football.
Madden.
Oh, I love Madden.
But like I enjoyed basketball games and like hockey games and stuff. But what was cool about that game is like you created a guy, you were making your way up. You were becoming a baller. You were becoming like a famous basketball player. There was a whole business side where you had like contracts and sponsors and weird shit. Even like Tony Hawk games. Like one of the best Tony Hawk games is where you created your dude and you made your way up and you became a like famous sponsored rich skater. You had sponsorships. You could get shoe deals. You could create your own decks.
Imagine
they had to sell.
Say you're the wrestler. You had
to make appearances at like contests and shit.
Say you're the wrestler and that would be your My Career mode. But you're the wrestler. And there's someone that comes to you and it's like, you're super famous now. We want to start making your own merch. And then you go in there and you create your own t-shirt. And then, like, that's the t-shirt you wear. And then it just still gives you the little graph. Like, it doesn't really... Maybe they put one or two in the crowd because it would be a little hard to, like, have every single different design in the crowd.
Yeah.
But, like, just show a little chart. Or maybe show, like, a Twitter post of someone, like, you know how they show, like, Liv Morgan puts on her Instagram people wearing her t-shirt.
Yeah.
Have fake people wearing your t-shirt. That would be easy because it's just a white print with whatever you had on there. That shit is in video games all the time.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't play 18, but I know in 17, you had to create shirts, wear them, and they had to sell. That was part of things you had to do.
Because if you
which is a really cool idea.
All your credits,
but like the way they didn't really explain to you how it worked. Like I still to this day don't understand how that worked. I would redesign a new shirt. I'd go out there and sometimes it would be selling, sometimes it wouldn't. I know it depended on what I was doing, but I was super over as a heel. Yeah. Super over as a heel.
I had a hot t-shirt. But then I put a jacket over it, and all of a sudden, because I'm still wearing my T-shirt, and I had a jacket over it in my entrance.
Like all these stupid little technicalities.
It doesn't sell anymore.
It's almost like they didn't think it through, or they didn't program it to like deal with all these.
Like if you put a design, I had a design on my jacket.
Dynamics.
My jacket was my fucking shirt. It didn't do anything.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
It's
fucking
so
AJ
weird.
Styles comes out with a hoodie over his t-shirt. He doesn't sell those fucking hoodies. I'm sure you can buy that brand hoodie.
Yeah, he wears his fucking...
but he wears his like everyday fucking AJ Styles vest. Thing, yeah. That's his character design. That's not something he's trying to sell you. He's trying to sell you the t-shirt he's wearing under it.
To stop just shelling out the same game every year and just shell out a great game every 5. And update the roster through downloadable content. That's what they need. We've talked about this already. Listen to us.
What they need to do is they need to do it like I'm about to say Call of Duty, and you're gonna be like, no, the fuck they don't. But they need to do it like Call of Duty because they need to have 3 different people making the same game. To where, if say 2K, say they came out with 2K20, okay, and it was made by 2K Games Montreal, and you're like, fucking 2K Games Montreal made 2K14, and I wasn't a big fan of it. Okay. I'm gonna wait till next year when 2K Australia makes it. Next year comes, now they've worked on that game for 2 or 3 years because they're in a cycle now. So like this game's out, and even though this game came out next year, it was worked on all the way back here from 2014 all the way up to 2020 or 2021.
Okay.
So they worked on that game for all that time. And then the next year another one comes out, but now that's 2K Alaska. So we have 2K Montreal, 2K Australia, and 2K Alaska.
Why do they need all these 2Ks?
Because those are the 3 developers. They're
shopping it out to get more done, essentially, just like they did with Fallout New Vegas.
For Call of Duty, there's Treyarch. It's all Call of Duty. It's all under one publisher,
umbrella,
Activision.
Except it's all
Activision,
teams.
but it's different teams making.
I get it.
And they get 2 or 3 years to work on their game. That's why it's always a different experience. If they did that with wrestling. Like, say, this one focused mainly on the career mode.
Oh, they all worked on the different dynamics of one game. They could get it out probably every 2 years.
Yes.
Instead of every 5.
It comes out every year still, but the person that made it last, their game comes out every 3 years.
And I don't care.
Everybody's game would come out every 3 years or every 4 years, but you would get a game every year because it would be 3 different developers working on it. And now this third developer came out with his game 3 years later.
Yeah.
Now we're back to the first developer that's working on his game solely for 3 years, and he gives you his game, and it comes out the year after, and the year after, and the year after. So we still get yearly, but we don't have to buy it every year.
Yeah.
I'm waiting 3 years to get the one that I want, the sequel to my game, not the sequel to your game, because the next one could be, maybe it's not called WWE, maybe it's called New Japan Wrestling. Maybe 2K makes it. And they, instead of making 3 2K games, they make one for TNA, one for New Japan Wrestling, and one for WWE. So now we have 3 different wrestling games we could choose from. So now we're playing TNA.
Well, that's conflicting interests. You couldn't have the same production and distributor making all the competition.
True.
You can't. That wouldn't work. Like WWE would be like, "Fuck that! I'm pulling out."
They would.
Even though New Japan and WWE have a good relationship, I know
they would.
But
what they need to do.
But imagine somebody making a TNA game and also making a WWE game like that. There would be a lot of legal shit they'd have to work out there.
They need to add that in some dynamic because we need some sort of draft board. We need some way to be able to bring people in from Ring of Honor. We need to be able to bring in new talent from somewhere else. Like, we got the creation. Like, we can create all that people. We can download all those people. But I want to add it to, a story type thing. If I'm a general manager, like EC3 coming in, Velveteen Dream coming in, I want to give these people, promos and shit and, build their character. I want to be able to... That's what I want. I want build your own story mode. I don't give a fuck about general manager. But general manager mode is cool. I want it, but I want build your own story mode. I want the John Cena, Ric Flair thing that I talked to you about with the 4 Horsemen. Yeah. And he screws them over, and he never becomes the champion.
No, you explained it all out that one day.
And I want that in a create your own story setting in a 2K game.
No, I get that. I understand it. You're talking about bringing other people in and shit, but what they need to master.
They don't need to bring other people in, but they need to stop doing it every year, but still come out with it every year because they're greedy as fuck. That's the only way they would be able to do it is to break it off into 3 different. Because 2K is greedy.
Just
as fuck.
Adding on.
2K is never going to stop making it a year every year.
No,
just like that. Ubisoft brought back Assassin's Creed every year again.
If they're gonna do that though, what they need to do is they need to the get one down. Be like, oh, I like a simplistic version of a game that's really good and fun to play, and then the next year take that same model, update it.
You're saying basically update it how Supercard is, to where we get new seasons in the game.
And like you were saying, all these different departments working on all the different dynamics of the game and how they could work together and shit. Like, these people are still working on these things. They use the same build and model or whatever, the same principles and everything, and just make that better. Just add more to it. And then put it out every year. I'm okay with playing with not having new dynamics as long as the remaining dynamics from before that I liked and made the game good are better. I'll play the same game over and over again every year if you're making a good game
I agree
better
with that,
each time.
But they haven't done that in
10 wasting
years.
Their time putting out the same game over and over again. Just have it there. Just make that one better. You know what I mean?
Have you ever played SmackDown 2?
For PlayStation?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I played that. Dude, I played the fuck out of those games.
Remember SmackDown 2
that had the best story mode.
Unlimited story mode. It would just keep going.
Infinitely. Right? Yeah, sometimes you get recycled things, but it'd be with different people. And you could still have fun playing the game.
What freaked me out about that was there was stuff going on in real life
that happened later.
That started happening later in the game.
Yeah. It's like they were putting... They had storyline written out for years,
they worked with the story
and they were
writers.
just adding that in there, hoping that people wouldn't notice, or whatever. But they were actually spoiling things that were going to happen in the future.
Because Stone Cold got hit by a person in a car. It wasn't the same person. For me, it was
people
Billy
in the
Gunn.
games. Yeah, but you saw that storyline there with different characters, and there was even one where, damn, they're getting loud. There was even one there where Undertaker was talking to Chris Benoit.
Okay.
And he what they were talking about was eerily foreshadowed everything that happened with Chris Benoit about his wife and his kids and stuff like that. And that one was weird. That's weird. That added some conspiracy theories to the Chris Benoit thing.
Which is crazy because that's all they need to do. They need to just sit down with real story writers. Say they took a year off. Say WWE was like, all right, we understand. We'll give you a year off, but next year you have to come out with a game.
Yeah.
And they're like, cool. And they sit down and they scan everybody. They scan everybody they need to scan first. They take that whole fucking time they need to scan people because people's schedules and shit. That's why everything's so conflicting, because even though WWE's letting them make the game, they still got to pay for certain rights of certain things. They still got to get the rights to the fucking titles. They got to get the rights to likenesses. Ronda Rousey, that's why that's pre-order bonus, because they had to pay for Ronda Rousey because she was just coming out of UFC.
Yeah.
So you're paying what they had to pay for.
And
that's where the greediness of 2K comes from.
Like Rey Mysterio and shit.
Rey Mysterio, you're paying for what they had to pay for. Obviously, you're not paying exactly what they had to pay for, but they're like, 1 million people are going to pay $10 for this pre-order bonus, and we're going to get our money back that we paid for all the royalties and rights and shit on these characters.
Yeah.
Fucking why? Like, just fucking let them use them. Like, you pay these people to make your fucking games. Why make them jump through hoops? Like you said, just make that core game that's fun as hell. It has all the new scans in it, and then you start working on the gameplay of it. You start working on that story builder. You start working on the storyline creator. You start working on the general manager mode. You start giving more, and then I would take that game. Say that game lasted like fucking Ubisoft's game, Rainbow Six Siege. That game's been out since like 2012, and they're on like season 5, and they just keep adding new operators that you have to pay for, and people just keep dishing out money.
Yeah,
I would do that if it was like how Madden is, to where all year you get roster updates, you get character updates, you get stat updates. Like I want storyline updates, I want roster updates. If I'm gonna pay every year for a game like that, and you're never gonna take a break, give me a year's worth of updates for free.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm going to have to buy a season pass that's dumb fucking DLC, which is like a booster. I can't change the stats of my characters unless I buy that 99-cent booster.
Yeah.
Like, that's dumb. Like, I want to be able to go in there and make Von Strowman better. I don't want to have to wait a year for him to get updated stats.
Yeah.
Like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
But it's corporate America. It's fucking 2K. They made Evolve. 2K made Evolve.
I'm sure you're gonna find out in the coming future, starting school and shit, just how complicated it all is. But we gotta remember too, we're dummies. We don't know how.
We have no idea.
Like we don't know how. I know creating games is a very long and tedious job. Like it's not all fun and fucking games.
True.
No pun intended. But
because it's all corporatized.
Yeah.
Like if me and you started making a video game, it would be all shits and giggles. It'd be all fun and games.
Kind of.
And then that game would take off.
I'm just saying, like...
Well, we would have some frustration, but then say that game took off.
Technology is not always your friend.
But I'm just saying, then we start bringing on a team, and then we start getting people, and then people start telling us what to do, and then it's not fun and games anymore. So, like, we don't know. But, yeah, you're right. Like, you get to that point, and it's like, it's not like you thought it was going to be. It's like, it's people just shitting right down your throat, and you just got to take it and eat it.
Even
give them what they want.
Looking at it from, like, a video editing standpoint, like there's some things that just don't fucking work. Sure. And you can't figure out why, and you'll work for hours trying to get this one little thing you're trying to do with this.
You see how it works in your head,
and even when you get a somewhat satisfiable thing to work, you're still not fucking happy with it.
Yeah,
that is extremely fucking frustrating. It's still not exactly the way you want it to be. Something still ain't right about it. Right. Sometimes you just scrap it because you're just fuck it.
There's been things that I've deleted that I've just been like, fuck it.
So, I mean, this shit's frustrating, and things don't always work out. So, but that still doesn't destroy my point of you already had something great. Just make that great thing even better. Just keep adding to that. Like, that's kind of what Bethesda does.
Yeah.
They take something, they got this formula with Oblivion. You know what I mean? Or Morrowind, and they just made it better, and then they had Oblivion. And then they had Oblivion, and they just made it better, and then you had fucking Skyrim. Like,
well, it's because, like, they...
It's so much easier for 2K, because it's the same fucking game, just updated.
It's just a shift, though. It's like they went from THQ to 2K.
That's true. THQ made some fucking good games.
Yeah, THQ made some good games. Like, could you imagine if WWE would have went somewhere else?
But, yeah, like, you got to understand, too, THQ, there were many years between games. There were quite a few.
Oh,
I mean, that was back in, like, the late 90s and early 2000s.
That was a couple years. You weren't getting a yearly franchise. Like, you weren't
the gaming business isn't what it is today.
No, not at all.
So, it was kind of hit or miss with video games, but they were killing it there for a while.
Oh, yeah. Some games 1 and 2 were some of my favorite games. SmackDown 3 and 4... is kind of where they started getting off, like, they started doing new things, and then, like, later on, like, Shut Your Mouth when Brock Lesnar and shit was added to the game, and then you started getting other games that were made by other companies, and then you started getting, like, THQ stayed through all of that until 2K14, I think was their last game.
Yeah.
And then they had to file bankruptcy because, like you said, they were a company that was old, and everybody knew kind of took over, and THQ didn't adjust to the...
Video games industry became a video games industry.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess that's what's wrong with 2K Games Volume 2, Part 2.
2K
Because I'm pretty sure we had this discussion already, but
we might have.
We have way more.
I think we did have this
about.
discussion, yeah, but we had a lot more to talk about this time around.
Yeah. We've been talking about that for a while too. We should probably wrap that up. Talk about video games a lot too, but I wanted to talk about Fallout 76.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that yet.
Something I find very. I'm not a huge fan of online.
Yeah.
Especially because with PlayStation you have to pay for it. Essentially, like you could do things online, but you have to pay to be able to play games.
The PlayStation Plus,
which isn't a bad price for like $17, $18. You can get 3 months of it, but
yeah, and they do deals and stuff like 99 cents for a month sometimes.
And they claim you can play this one player if you want to, but they keep saying that there are no NPCs.
There's not
So how could you play it one player with no NPCs? You know what I mean?
They in the interview. The way they worded it, you're going to get quest from
player characters.
The area.
So
the
what
area
are you up to
and
a rock?
and the robots.
The robots.
Yeah, you're gonna walk up to a dead body.
Those are
you're gonna walk up to a dead body.
Characters. Though.
Yeah, you're gonna walk up to a dead body, and you're
find
gonna,
like a note.
Well, not a robot specifically, like more like a terminal.
Tape.
Yeah, you're gonna pull out a holotape, and you're gonna put it in your thing, and it's gonna be like, it's probably not gonna pop up with an actual quest to where it's like, it marks it on your map, but it'll be like at such and such location, there's a diamond ring, and you go there, and maybe that pops up a quest or something. But that's what they said was the biggest challenge is to make that, and the whole story. There's a story to it. If you find the story, the whole story is to find the nuke codes. The whole thing is to work together with whoever you get put on the server with, find the nuke codes, send the nukes off, blow up the specific areas. Once you blow up the specific areas, all the crazy monsters come. You fight them, you get your legendary armor, and then everybody moves on. And that's when the game becomes strictly PvP.
Okay. Well, to me, that sounds like not playing one player. That's not like to me. That sounds like you. In order to play the game,
in order to play the main quest,
you have to play with other players.
With the friends. But there's a possibility because you just need the code.
Yeah,
you literally just need the nuke codes.
That seems so simple, and I know it's not going to be that simple. You know what I mean? Like it's a Bethesda game. It's going to be a little more complicated than that.
I think eventually, with like a quick Google search, you'll be able to find codes like crazy.
Oh no doubt.
Like,
but I'm
be
saying
able to play like because they said once level 10 hits, that's when you can start killing each other. Like once you hit level 10,
so you're just
kill
looking for codes and killing and looting on the way.
Yep, killing, looting on the way, but you're helping each other. You're trying to
because see, this is what
you're trying to rebuild America.
I forget that it's a prequel to all the others. Like this is the beginning. There isn't civilization out there. So like you're going into an actual open wasteland.
Because have you ever played Ark Survival Evolved?
No.
Okay, have you ever played any game that you're like separate servers and you only have like 20 or 30 people on each server?
Well, yeah, I played like MMORPGs
okay,
and
that's
stuff.
basically how this is going to be. You got like 10 or 15 people on the server, and each of those 10 or 15...
Yeah, and that's how they're going to keep it very wasteland.
Say I had like a couple codes, you had a couple codes, that guy has some codes, and we all got together and we're like, all right, let's go blow up the shit and start getting our legendary armor, because it's not going to be like I killed that monster and only I get the piece. Everybody gets the piece.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's going to get equal amounts of stuff. Everybody's going to get all the stuff. It's going to be a lot of trial and error because everybody's freaking out over the beta. The beta's not just a beta. It's basically
it's
early,
testing.
It's a beta. It's like early testing of the game. It's not beta
Todd
testing.
Howard kept saying they call it the break it early testing.
Well, they just came out recently because it only comes out a month before the game comes out.
Application.
You only have a month to play it.
Oh, really?
But your character goes over.
But basically,
and there's only select few people that get to play it early.
Yeah.
It's not. They said it's not the beta. It's the actual game. You're going to play the actual game.
No. Yeah, you're playing the game all the way through, and you're basically
the problem everybody's freaking out about is you only have a month. So say you broke the game and there's a game-breaking glitch a month early. How are they going to go in there and fix in a month, like a game-breaking glitch? Like as soon as you walk in, your arm just starts twitching. Everybody's arm is just walking around twitching. You only have a month to fix that.
The way they talk about it, it's not just the beta testers doing it. Like the whole fucking crew is playing the game like a lot.
Well, yeah.
Not only that,
that's
but
what
I'm
they
sure
said. they're letting you play the finished product. They're so confident in the game that they're expecting you not to run into any glitches that they can't fix.
Well, I mean,
before the game comes out in a month.
There's a lot less.
Normally, people give you
glitch.
3 months in advance, and then they give you another beta a couple months in advance with the fixes.
Well, with no non-player characters aside from like animals and shit.
But like, there's gonna be things that
creatures.
need to be nerfed. Like, if I came at you with a revolver, and my revolver hit you with 60 points of damage, but then I had another attachment that gives me another 100 times. If I get a headshot, I'm hitting you with like 1,000,000 XP at once.
Yeah.
Like, there's going to need to be nerf things. There's going to be little things that they're not, that they say they're taking into account. But there's so many people in the world that play games that were like, at this one spot inside behind the mountain, if you hit it the right way, you can walk in and get a legendary loot chest that's not supposed to be there. Like, people do that shit on Destiny all the time. Like, they find things that are in the areas that aren't supposed to be there, and they glitch out the game, and they get like shit. Destiny's come out and been like, don't use that. Like, because if you use it, it's a game-breaking thing. It's not mechanical. If the code's in there for it to be there cosmetically, but it's not in there. It's not game-tested. So, like, you could break the game by using these things.
Yeah.
Like, that's what people are going to do on Fallout. They only got a month to fix that.
Well,
That's the problem.
they've been working on this game for a while. They only announced it like a month or two ago.
Yeah.
I'm sure the beta testing version of the game is a little bit farther along than what you're thinking. But
Well, it's the finalized product. That's what I'm
essentially
that's
like
what they said.
it's like all the tiny little things they need to find now. All the things
Yeah.
that they overlooked that are really aren't that big a deal.
Yeah.
But we are well over our time, sir. We're almost on a 2-hour podcast. Some of
Nice.
it's going to be cut out, obviously,
Oh,
because I
for
had to
sure.
piss, and there were some
Yeah,
things that
right.
nobody gives a shit about. That we
Yeah,
talk
like
about.
the little supercard thing.
Yeah, maybe I'll leave a little bit of that in there, because we did refer back to it. But
We did.
who knows?
This is a pretty good podcast.
You know now, though, if you got this far.
You
Thanks
know
for
now.
watching. But this was Buncha Podheads, number 11. We're getting there. Before you
are.
know it, we'll be at 420.
Before you know it, we'll actually be at 12.
69. Yeah, we'll be.
Six-
Before you know,
6'9".
we'll actually be at 12. and that
Maybe
whole
6'9" will come for the 69th episode.
Oh shit.
That would be awesome.
No thanks.
No.
I'm good.
Try away.
I don't want that audience. No, we welcome you. Come on. But yeah, thanks for watching. This is. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/MattArcherMedia. You understand all that. We got
Yep.
T-shirts available. MattArcher.threadless.com. Subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, Chat.
I feel like we should start
Castbox,
saying all this
man.
stuff at the beginning. Because, like, I wonder if anybody ever gets to the end when we're saying all this.
That's true. Maybe we should.
Maybe we should
do
start
a little bit of
or
housekeeping.
like halfway through, be like, make sure to hit the like button or hit the, because there's that little bell notification that you got to tell
I've
everybody
actually
about
been
now.
throwing that out there too.
Yeah, if they don't hit the bell, they won't get any notifications when we come out with a random ass Buncha Podheads podcast.
Yeah, or maybe I'll just start putting like information up at the bottom of the screen. And
yeah,
shit
like
I
cut
edit.
us into like a little square, like a little fade out. We're a square over here.
Or yeah,
and,
just like a little ticker at the bottom.
Yeah, just like a
that
little
pops
thing
up
that-
and gives some info and shit.
That'd be cool.
Maybe it's here right now.
maybe it is. Maybe it's here.
If not, I look like an asshole and I didn't do it.
might
I'll
not.
have some explaining to do on the next
You
one.
might.
But yeah, like I said, subscribe, rate us on iTunes, Stitcher, Castbox.
Pornhub.
Apparently, we're not on Pornhub, but maybe we are. Somebody put us on there. Yeah. Anything you'd like to say before we go, sir?
No.
All right, there
No.
it was, straight from the horse's mouth. That was the show. Thanks for watching.